Hi there, this is Mr. Z from Zombe Tutorials with a quick video so that you can maximize your performance in the upcoming exam. Today we're going to look at series, and these are normally divided into three types, which is the arithmetic, the geometric, and the quadratic series or sequences. It is important that we understand how we can actually differentiate between these sequences. So a sequence or a series is basically a number or a chain of numbers that are written in a predictable fashion. So it's actually possible for you to determine what the next term will be in the sequence. So if we have this example of the sequence, which is T1, that's your first term, T2 is your second term, T3 is your third term, T4 is your fourth term, T5 is your fifth term, T6 is your sixth term, then T7 is predictable by a certain formulation that you would have used. Excuse me. So that is what we call a sequence or a series. So now how do we distinguish between an arithmetic progression and a geometric progression? We do this by simply calculating the differences. First of all, we calculate the first difference, that is calculating the next term from the previous term. And then if we do this and we discover that our first difference, we call it our first difference, is equal, then that means this is an arithmetic progression. So in arithmetic progression, we're going to have the first difference. So this is what we call the first difference. So in an arithmetic progression, the first difference is equal. This means here we're now talking of a what? Of an arithmetic progression or an arithmetic sequence. If the first difference is not equal, then we're going to have to check the second difference. And then we're going to have to check the second difference. Let's say this give us those values to make it easier for it to fit inside our space that we have. So here now we're subtracting the consecutive terms of the first difference. So in other words, we're saying B minus A. Then we come this side, it will be C minus B. And also come this side, it is D minus C. Then we come this side, it is E minus D. So if we take a look at these second differences, these are now what we call second differences. If the second differences are equal, then that means here we're now dealing with a what? With a quadratic sequence or series. So this is how you can distinguish between your three sequences. The first one, which is the arithmetic progression, we check if the first differences are equal. If the first differences are equal, then it is an arithmetic progression. And then if the first differences are not equal, we go ahead and we check the second differences and we see if they are equal. If the second differences are equal, then we're dealing with what we call a quadratic sequence. So that leaves us now with the geometric sequence. So the geometric sequence, again, using the same example, T1, T2, T3, T4, we check the common ratio. So we divide T2 by T1. Then we divide the consecutive terms, T3 by T2. And then we divide the next terms, which is T4 by T3. So we call this the common what? The common ratio. So if what? If T2 divided by T1 is equal to T3 over T2, then that means we are dealing with what? The geometric progression. or a geometric sequence or series. So this is how we distinguish between our particular sequences, because it is important that when we know which sequence we're using, then we can apply the formulas as were given in our formula sheet.